So, hello everyone. Good morning. So, everyone, can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay. So thank you. Okay, thank you all. And again, good morning and welcome to Salesforce User Group Chandpur, India. And I'm this owner of this group. And today we have lots of speakers, and that is called MVPs, architect in this session. So we will see these all attend. We can say that a presenter in this session. So we will see all the things here, right? So let me introduce myself first of all. So here, so my name is Rohit Kumar. I'm a Salesforce developer as a profession, and I'm a community speaker. I have 4x Salesforce certified and 1x Copilot certified DevOps engineer. I'm a speaker, blogger, and all about Salesforce, and I'm a YouTuber as well. So this is my YouTube channel, Salesforce Hunt, and you can see each and every things related Salesforce, like Salesforce administrator, development, LWC, Aura, integration, and digital experience that is called Community Cloud. So you can see all the videos and how to deploy all the metadata and all the deployment process like chain set and like SFDX and Workbench and like Azure DevOps. So you can see each and everything under my channel. Okay, so this is all my social media handles here. And now let's get started with our. So about this event, so we will see in this event like with support from the Salesforce community team, and I'm very excited to announce to start of Salesforce Developer Group meeting in Chandpur and bringing your questions and knowledge in the meetup and discuss it among the community. We expect to have SFDC developers and administrators, consultant, architects, and MVPs for this session, and we have these all speakers. So here you can see in this slide like Salesforce User Group Chandpur India, and let's welcome Chandpur Developer User Group event. And we have speakers like Meera, Jyotsana, Aditya, and Neha, Ompirkas, and finally like Susan. So we will see all the things and all the talking about this Salesforce event. And let's over to you, Meera, first of all.
Thank you so much, Rohit, and congratulations on this new group. I wish all the success for all the future events. So let me start sharing my screen and let me know once you are able to see it.
Okay.
Okay, Rohit, it says host disabled participant screen sharing. Can you please give me permission?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can check now. I already given one permission to you. So Meera, have you permission for sharing this screen?
I think so, yes. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen. Thank you.
Okay. So I will be talking about skills needed to become a Salesforce architect. I won't be taking much time, probably 5 to 10 minutes. So this all are based on my experience throughout all these years. To introduce myself, I am currently working as a Salesforce architect at UST Trivandrum, India. I have around 15 plus years of IT experience, in which almost 14 has been on the Salesforce platform. I started my journey as a Salesforce developer. And that time, like, there were only S controls. And after that, only even Visualforce or LWC, everything got into the platform. So that's when I started my journey. And I handled multiple roles as part of my career, like Salesforce developer, Salesforce consultant, dev lead, architect. So yeah, all these roles I have handled throughout my career. And I'm also leading Salesforce Developer Group. I'm a co-lead of Salesforce Developer Group and also a co-lead of SIMA, which is an architect study group. If you have not heard, probably you can let me know. It will be really helpful for people who are preparing or who would like to become architect. So without further delay, let us go to today's topic, that is skills needed to become a Salesforce architect. This is our agenda for today. So we'll be seeing what are the responsibilities for a Salesforce architect, the skills needed, and how to develop those skills. So this might vary based on your experience. So whatever I've captured here is based on my experience throughout this 6 or 7 years of my architect journey. So I guess most of this you are very familiar with, like you all know. An architect is responsible for solutioning and designing a particular application. Whenever there is a new requirement, he is responsible for solutioning it and design it. But we need to also make sure that the solution is scalable, which follows all the best practices. Scalable in the sense, in the future, currently the system might need to handle a less number of records, but in the future, it might get increased. And based on that, you need to make sure whatever you are developing, like the custom, especially the customization, your flow logic, trigger, whatever other Apex code you have, that should be scalable and make sure that you are not going to hit any kind of governor limits. And also, you need to make sure the application is following all the best practices suggested by Salesforce. In addition to that, as part of any implementation, there might be integration requirements also where you are supposed to work with external application teams. So in that case, you are responsible for defining how the integration should work. In addition to that, for all applications, there should be a governance framework in place, especially related to your development and deployment phase, like especially a DevOps process, where when you are developing something, how it should get deployed to another sandbox, and how should the branching strategy looks like, how the deployment should happen, and how you will be making sure, right, during the DevOps process, all the testing, code verification or code validation, including code scanning, should be in place so that chances of failure of your implementation is less. That is another responsibility. And help your organization to make a decision on buy versus build. This is really important. So that means whenever you are getting a requirement, that can be implemented in 2 ways. One is you can utilize any of the ready-made product available in the market. It's called App Exchange product. Or you can build that functionality from the scratch. But you also need to identify or understand what are the decision makers for that decision. You need to consider the timeline of your project, the cost of your project. Based on this, you need to whether you should buy scratch. Other area is helping your customers to define roadmap. Like even if you are working for your own company or you are working for some other customer, each year during the starting phase, they will be defining 1 year roadmap plan. Like what are things that they are going to implement as part of this year, what are the major features, and you are responsible for helping them estimating and making sure that whatever their business goal is, you will be able to achieve that as part of current year implementation. In addition to customer or business goals, there will be IT initiatives also. For example, like I mentioned, to make sure like your application is scalable, you need to make sure that whenever there is some design level changes or whenever Salesforce is coming up with a new feature, you need to make sure you are trying to implement that as part of your current implementation and make your process better. As an example, like you all know, Salesforce is going to probably remove workflows and process builders very shortly. So we need to make sure everything existing in the current system is getting migrated to Flow. So to drive this kind of IT initiatives, the architect is responsible for. Other area is tools evaluation. Tools evaluation, I can give an example from the App Exchange product. For example, a new project, you are planning to implement a DevOps strategy. So there are so many tools available in the market for DevOps implementation. But considering your current implementation for which you are working on, you are responsible for finding out or identifying the right tool. That is another responsibility. On top of that, you need to, in addition to solution and design, you need to support the implementation phase also. Developers, whenever they need help with the implementation or when they are stuck with some kind of issues, you should support that. And another important responsibility will be supporting sales cycle. So if you are working for your own company, this might not be applicable, but if you are a consultant company, most of the time you will be getting new requirements in the form of RFP, and you will be responsible for working on that, coming up with an estimation and presenting to the customer. So this is an important phase where you need to consider all different implementation and development best practices and come up with a proper estimation. And in addition to that, you also need to mentor junior architects. I will later tell you like what are things we normally do to mentor the junior architects in our team. So these are some of the responsibilities that I have highlighted here. There will be many more, but for now, let us stick to this. And for handling those sort of responsibilities, what are the different skills needed? Of course, you should have very solid technical knowledge. When we say technical knowledge, it is not like you should know how to implement something, but you should identify how to solution that, what are the capabilities of the platform.
Rohit,
will you be able to mute participants? Okay, thank you. Yeah, so you should understand the capabilities of platform, especially like, how you will be able to integrate Salesforce with external system. So the different integration patterns, you need to understand different integration capabilities, different APIs available. That is key. Other major area is identity and access setup. That is, if you want to implement SSO to your system, how you will be doing that. The security setup is also key because users' access are getting defined through the security model of Salesforce. These are some key areas of technical knowledge you should have if you would like to become a Salesforce architect. In addition to that, domain knowledge is also important. Like you might be working for multiple industries, like it can be healthcare, it can be banking. So based on the domain of your customer, you need to understand what is their domain and how you will be able to help solve their implementation. Leadership skills, you might be thinking like an architect is an independent person who don't need to interact with others and he don't need to have leadership skills. But that is not the case because based on our experience in most of the projects, especially if it is a new implementation, right? The development team needs guidance on how to start with implementation, how to interact with the customers and make sure your implementation is success. So that is a key skill the architect should be having. And also he should have good communication skills. In some of our projects, like most of the projects are following agile pattern nowadays, right? So there will be predefined roles, like there will be a product owner who is responsible for tracking all the requirements and helping with defining the acceptance criteria and all. But you are also responsible. When it is too technical, the requirements are becoming complex. Sometimes the product owner will not be able to handle that. So in that case, you are responsible for interacting with the business, trying to understand their need and convert that into a Salesforce specific terminology. So you need to always support your product owner with all this kind of activities. And communicating with your team and your product owner is one thing, but communicating with customer is another thing, because you can always use technical terms when you are communicating to the development team or product owner most of the time. But when you are speaking to the business, they will not be able to understand any of the Salesforce technical term if you are trying to explain them. So you need to make sure that you are translating that to a normal language, English language, so that the customers will be able to understand what you are trying to communicate. Other is understanding the requirements, especially like, when you are, most of the time when you are getting, when you are becoming part of a project, the requirements will not be in place like user stories. You might be getting a business document, business or BRD, from which you need to convert the business term requirements to a technical or Salesforce specific detail. So for that, you need to communicate with business multiple times, ask the right questions, understand it, and convert. And also you need to possess ownership mentality, because sometimes I have noticed, especially architects, junior architects, when they are joining our team, they will be thinking like, if the requirements is there in place, then only I'm going to get started with the design phase. So that might not be the case always, because we always need to work as a team, right? So you need to help others in defining the requirements also and making sure that the project is a success. So you will be a key factor in making sure that we all are working as a team, and starting from the first phase of requirement gathering till the deployment, go live, and warranty phase, the project is success. So you are a person who should have good collaboration skills, who can work with different stakeholders. Of course, you also need to have problem solving skills. Whenever you are getting a requirement, you need to know how to solve that. And also project execution vision, like, whenever you are getting put to a new project, you should have a vision on how this project is going to be implemented. What are the factors that you need to consider? Mainly, what are the success factors that your customer is looking for? First, all these things to be defined, then start designing and implementing. So how to develop all these skills? Because you might be a developer or admin at current point. So to become an architect, what are skills you need to develop? Of course, the important thing is expand your knowledge. It is your responsibility only. That is, there are so many Trailhead modules, online training, YouTube videos, blogs available in the community, which you will be able to utilize to expand your knowledge. Like I mentioned, some of the key areas are integration, platform features, identity, handling large data volume, sharing or security of the system. So make sure you are planning for those related certifications also, so that you will be able to improve your knowledge. Building a network is also very key, because the Salesforce community is really active, and the people in the community are really approachable. Whenever you have some questions related to implementation, there are so many people available, or even the forum community itself is really approachable. You can post your questions and get that answered. So make sure you are active in the community, build your own network, so that there are people to support you. Like I mentioned, knowledge sharing sessions are very key for this, and guidance from senior architects also. So normally in our companies and all, we might be having knowledge sharing sessions happening frequently, like at least 1 or 2 sessions monthly, so that each architect will be sharing his recent learnings, or whenever there is a new feature from Salesforce, someone else preparing a session on that and presenting that, so that everyone within the team is aware about what is happening outside. In addition to that, like I mentioned, trainings are very key. Not only technical training, but in addition to that, there will be so many courses on communication skills, domain knowledge, how to deal with your customers. There are so many courses available, and you can start utilizing or attending all those trainings to improve your knowledge. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share.
We are core work is 5 to 6 GB.
Okay. So thank you so much, Meera, for this informative knowledge, and become as a architect. So now let's meet the next speaker, Jyotsana.
I cannot click the sales cloud assignment.
Kayati, can you mute your mic, please?
When you go to that day 2 assignment and you click sales cloud, it's not clickable.
No, that is not
Hello?
a link.
Can you hear me?
Topic, what are the degree covered? So that is not a link.
So
that is an underlined word. It's not a link.
So
Just a
ask
heading.
the host, you can mute.
So how
Okay.
do I know
But
the
I already
assignment?
make a host
What
to
assignment
Mira,
to do?
so can you remove that?
We
host?
are
I have given the topic.
Let me check 1 second.
Yes.
That topic is
Okay.
Fine. Okay, so let me, yeah. So let me make the host. So, okay, fine. This is So I already given some access to Jyotsana, so please check in your side if you have.
Yeah, Rohit, I have
Okay, thank you.
got the access. Can I go ahead now?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
I'm gonna quickly share my screen.
Okay.
I'm not able to share the screen. I think you need to make me a co-host.
Yeah, make a host. Yes, sure. So I already given. Can you check now?
Yes, Rohit, I am able to, I believe. Let me share.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Firstly, congratulations, Rohit, for the new group. And along the way, I wish you have many more stories to share and many more upcoming sessions that will be helpful to the community. I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
A little bit about me. I am Jyotsna Mitra. I go by the name JB. I am a marketing cloud architect, live in Phoenix, Arizona, and marketing champion and Golden Hoodie recipient, 16 times certified application architect. I'm the founder and the co-leader of the Salesforce Marketers Group Phoenix and founder of Impact Force and Marketing Cloud Learning Camp. And I occasionally write some blogs that are hosted on jbitra.com. And you can connect with me on Twitter using the handle Jyotsna Bitra. And I'm also active on LinkedIn. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn as well. And whatever sessions that happen for the user group and any other important sessions, the Impact Force sessions or the sessions related to the Marketing Cloud are all uploaded to this YouTube channel, Trailblazing Together. And this session is all about how to gain project experience. So as I mentor a few trailblazers, the most frequently asked questions by a beginner in Salesforce when they're ready, when they're done with their learning in the Salesforce and they want to apply for the job, one limiting factor is their experience. So when somebody is starting fresh on a job, and then people expect them to have at least 1 or 2 years of experience, which is hard for a fresher to gain that experience. So that's a challenge that everybody faces. So there are some ways which we can show up to the recruiters or the hiring managers that you are proactive and you are capable enough of handling a task at the job. So before being even applying for a job, you can involve yourself on creating some projects. You can show off yourself, all your work and everything. And I am going to talk about all the different ways that you can make your resume worthy enough, like more weight, add more weight to your resume so it's impressive to the recruiters. First thing, Salesforce certifications. Definitely, people will check the certifications, how many certifications you have. That tells them that you already have the knowledge or you have some practical experience in implementing those scenario, those cloud, if you have done some certification related to the app builder. So it's a testimony that you are knowledgeable. But then with so many people doing so many certification, even a fresher has 9 times certifications these days. So, and also with the interview experiences, many interviewers are expressing that even though a candidate has done so and so certification, but when asked a simple question, they're not able to answer. So not everybody is going by the certifications. So not just rely on the certification, and don't do the certifications just for the sake of having your certification count increase. Do the certification just for the sake of learning something new. If you want to learn something new, learn some modules on the Trailhead, and as you continue to learn, and when you're ready with all the concepts that are related for a particular certification, you can go and take the certification. It can be an added advantage, but don't just rely on the certification. So go beyond certain certifications. The other way is the Trailhead super badges that gives you a project experience. So in the super badges, you would implement a real-time scenario right from the very beginning stages, like doing the analysis and planning for that, and then thinking about all the things that come into picture. So, and then you go and actually implement it. So it's like a real project experience. So you do, there are more than 10 super badges available in Trailhead right now. So you can go and do super badges as and when you're done with the Trailhead modules. So you can show off these super badges on the resume and along with the Trailhead modules that you have completed. And other way that you can gain project experience is, don't wait for anybody. You just think about your own scenarios. Let's say you are anybody in your household, maybe an elderly parent or your grandparent has been visiting the doctor regularly. You can create an app for them, maybe include about all their treatments, their reports, their medicines that they have been asked to take, the schedule of the medicine, how often they should take. And you can track all those details, the next appointment, when they need to go. And for the next appointment, you can create some email notifications to your mail. So you will get notified. So this is your upcoming meeting, and you can be prepared for that. So whatever that you are learning on the Trailhead, you can go and include that in your app that you think about. So that app I just gave an example of the medical treatment plan. It could be anything about your to-do list. So if you need to do some things, and if you're planning to do your certification, you can include all the internal steps. Step by step, you can create those in the Salesforce. You can create a project for that, and then you can add more use cases to that. You can create reports. And if you are more thinking about more advanced options as well, you can create some Heroku. There are many ways. It's just your imagination that will be the only limit. And the other way is finding pro bono projects. Pro bono projects are the ones that you can do for the non-profits, the NGOs. So most of the NGOs, they're not aware that Salesforce offers 10 free licenses. So they can utilize that. If they are 501c certified, they can submit an application, and then the Salesforce licenses are granted to them. You can be their administrator, starting with their volunteer activities, their plans, their schedule, and everything. You can implement that in Salesforce. That's how I helped nonprofits. So nothing came to me in the very big. I was working on the Salesforce itself, but I wanted to add my experience. I want to spread my knowledge in the Salesforce. So beside my regular job, I used to volunteer for nonprofits. That's how I reached out to the nonprofits that I know in the local community. I reached out saying, so you are doing so and so activities. You can actually automate them using Salesforce. You can track everything in the Salesforce, and Salesforce offers free licenses. I can help you with everything for you to get started. That's how I approach the nonprofits. It didn't work with the project that I approached, but the person who involved in that discussion, he referred to me to 3 other nonprofits. That's how I got into that opportunity, and I also helped other beginners in the Salesforce to get involved in that project. So be proactive and then reach out to the local communities. You don't know when where there is an opportunity. Just going and asking wouldn't hurt. And as you attend these community meetings, the network, and then reach out. There is no harm in asking. So reach out to your local groups and asking if I can if you can help with any of their activities. So you can share their work if they're willing to. Then you can do it in your developer org and show to them and how you solved it. What are the features or the aspects that you have included? You can have a discussion with them. And Meera rightly said, the community is wonderful, amazing. And if you hear to anybody in the community, this is the same word that comes. The community is very open. Anybody that you reach out to will be very happy to give you guidance, give you any suggestions, mentor you. So reach out and don't hesitate to ask for any help. And on the Salesforce Chatter group, there are some groups available just for the volunteers, to help the volunteers and to connect them with the nonprofits. So, example, there's a group in the Trailhead that is moved to Trailhead right now. The group is named as Volunteers for Salesforce. So, wherein the nonprofits can approach, and then the Salesforce Trailblazers also can join, and if there's any opportunity, they will match you with the nonprofit, so you can get involved. And there are also some websites, volunteer match, and some of the websites are there. You can do some search and then find out the websites to volunteer. You can also get started slow and upload your resume on the Upwork, and you can quote less. So you will get opportunity to work. Those are all the various ways that you can get started and gain some experience. And by the Salesforce, there is this. One second. By the Salesforce, there is this program, pro bono matching. So when you apply for that, you will be matched with a nonprofit, and all nonprofits will register with Salesforce. So you will be matched with the nonprofit, and you will get an opportunity to work with the nonprofit. And that will be a real life experience, and it will be good to add that to your resume. And there are some trainings conducted by, I don't know the names, but there are some conducted in the community by Bradley Rice, and in India as well. There are few trainings done. So look out for any trainings, and there are career fairs also that are happening frequently. You can join those career fairs, and there is career development program also available. You can attend all those sessions, and then you can get some real time experience taking the interviews or getting some tips on how to be prepared for the interviews, how to create your resume, and a lot of things. And this is one example of creating your own project. So Shruti, you might have heard about her. She created, just give me 1 second, let me disable. I will stop my screen share and share it again, so the annotations will go away. Okay, I think it's clear now. So this is one of the applications created by one of the Trailblazer. So she has created the whole resume all about her experience on Salesforce. This is the screenshot that you are seeing is on Salesforce, and she has included everything about her. So instead of sending the resume as a Word document, think about sending the link that is on the Salesforce, and that itself talks about her experience without even going through the resume and looking at each individual points. Looking at the page itself, one will get an idea that, oh, she has very much experienced that she is able to create this app, which is visually impressive and which has a lot of components involved in the page. So I have the link included here. You can take a look at that link and see how responsive or how interactive the page is. And she has used a lot of features, Salesforce features, to build this one. And another example is this web app built by Pranav. He built it using Lightning Web Components and he deployed it using Heroku. So this is the next level where you would include more advanced aspects and build using them. So if you send these, the interviewer, they will get right away an impression about you that you have the experience. This shows it all. So you don't before even getting into your real project experience, this makes an impression to them that you already have the experience. And this is like creating an opportunity for yourself. No need to wait for somebody to give you some real-time scenarios or some project opportunities. You can, whatever stage you are in, you can get started. Let's say if you are a beginner and wanting to gain some project experience, you can do this. And also, if you are on the job, but you have some limited opportunities, like you're only supposed to work as an admin, but you want to explore the development aspects as well, then you can go and build it yourself. You don't need to wait for your manager to put you on a different project or to give you the opportunity. So be proactive all the times, and whatever you're learning in the Trailhead modules, try to go into your developer org and implement them as you learn each new concept. And don't try to look for any shortcuts. The dumps for the Salesforce certifications or interview questions, they will only take you to a certain extent. You may only go few steps with those shortcuts. But if you are confident with the concept, if you are knowledgeable about all the things that you have learned so far, you remember, you implement them, and you can explain it to anybody without any hesitation, then that is good enough. You can keep building on your skill set every day, and you will gain more experience as you keep learning. So don't try to look for shortcuts, and always try to learn. And this is the group that I have talked about before. This you can find this on the Trailhead groups, volunteers for nonprofits. You can join and you can share about your experience and how you can help them with. And if there is any nonprofit available, they would be able to match you with them. And be on the lookout for other trailblazers. So as I have shared how Shruti or Pranav has created these apps, you follow some of the trailblazers who are influential, who have been doing amazing work. So I want to share a few stories with you. Sudha, she was on a break for some period, but she didn't keep idle. She didn't wait for the opportunity or for her status to change to be able to work again. In the meantime, when she has enough time, she was constantly upgrading. She was constantly adding knowledge to her skill set, and she was constantly talking and delivering sessions and created some great content on CPQ. That's how she made best use of time. So don't wait for the time or don't wait for an opportunity to come to you. Just be proactive and look for how other trailblazers are doing. I have seen many trailblazers who just started it last year, and then they're already into the job and they have gained 9 certifications and they are at it all the time. It's just like they're staying focused on their goal. Get inspired from the other trailblazers and stay focused. And in order to prove your experience, in order to show off that you are really interested, you have the passion and you are committed, you can involve yourself in a lot of activities. So you can be on the lookout for the new features that are released every 3 times every year. And then you can do a write-up. You can create your own blog or YouTube series. And on the LinkedIn or on the social channels, you can share about the new features, how you have implemented or what you like about them. And whenever you have implemented something on the developer org, you can also talk about that. And you can share your tips. You have implemented something and you want to share your tips, how it worked, how it did not work, and how you fixed it. So you can include all those things. And as I mentioned about Sudha, she has involved in herself in various speaking engagements, and these all will show off to the recruiter or anybody who is looking at your profile that you are very much active, you are constantly learning something, and you have the right attitude to learn. So be active all the times, learning, and continue to do that. And never, as a beginner or somebody who is still on the learning curve, who is still on the growth, so they may limit themselves, saying they may not be able to do that, or it is too high for them, they're not experienced enough to do a certain task. This is something that we have the feeling that we limit ourselves. So don't think like that. You don't need to know everything, and just start out with whatever you have. Everybody starts with a small step, and then the journey continues. So just start it out and reach out if you have any questions, or if you are getting into any problems, then reach out and get guidance from the fellow community members. And there are plenty of groups on the Trailhead. You can search by the jobs or any key terms, and then you can find a lot of groups in there. You can join, and you can also see the last active. You can see how active the group has been, and then you can join those groups. If the last active date was long ago, then I wouldn't bother, and if it is only including few members, I wouldn't bother. I would look for the most active group, and I will join and see how other members are sharing, or how other members are getting involved. And you also try to introduce yourself to the group and reach out for any opportunities. And when you are ready for the interview, just be prepared, go through all the concepts that you have learned so far, and especially the use cases that you have implemented, because those are the ones that tell about your real experience, how you have implemented. You can talk about how you implemented, what was your approach, or what are the pain points that you have faced, and how did you solve. You can make a note of all those things. So whenever in the interview, you wouldn't hesitate, you wouldn't think for words. Sometimes we need some time thinking and gathering all the information during the interviews. Being prepared with all the aspects that you're going to talk about, all the use cases, the pain points, being prepared before the interview will make you feel confident, and also it shows to the client, that to the interviewer, that you have really done that, implemented that. Here are a few tips that you can just refer to these after this session. And I think that is all from my end. And we would be able to answer any questions, maybe at the end of the session, maybe. And I'm going to stop my screen share.
Okay, so thank you so much, Josana. This informative information for every attendee here, and this is a very most important for us. If you learn something new under the Salesforce, or if you have some lots of groups, so you can learn from there all the knowledge regarding Salesforce, right? So next is Aditya. So can you give me the access as an administrator, Josana?
Made Aditya as the host.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't see the option to make co-host.
Okay, no problem.
I can share now.
Okay, so thank you.
All right. So first of all, again, congratulations, Rohit, on starting this new group. All these glitches are fine. They happen more often than you think. So don't be too much worried. You'll be sorted for the next one. So we have wonderful speakers today. So I'm going to take like 10 minutes to talk about something very slightly technical. And I'm going to cover what are the updates that Spring 22 has given to Lightning Web Components. I'm going to cover 2 of them. And before we jump in, my name is Aditya. So those of you who don't know me, I work as a developer advocate at Salesforce. You can follow me on LinkedIn and Twitter with my name, Aditya Nag. And I am ready to help you with any of the questions that you have, or if you have any guidance that you want, I can definitely give it to you. So reach out if you are interested to know more about the Salesforce platform. So before I start, basically a forward-looking statement that says, if your customers are interested in purchasing something, then ask them to make their decisions based on generally available products and not based on what I might say today. So today I'm going to cover two things. So both of these are not like very new. Both of these features have been in beta since last release. But now with Spring 22, they're going into GA. The first one is Lightning Web Security and the second one is styling hooks. So I'll cover both of them. So in case you have any questions, you can definitely ask me. So I don't know what is the kind of experience that all of you have in the audience today. But if you've been working on Salesforce for some time now, at least on Lightning Web Components and Aura Components, you know that your components by default are secured by using what we call the Lightning Locker. So it's like a JavaScript abstraction that we have built on top of the browser that gives additional security to all of your web components, so that your components are not impacted by some other components that are placed on the browser. So let me give you an example. So you're building some custom Lightning Web components, and Salesforce is building some standard web components that you can use. You might download more from App Exchange. So all of these are being put on the same page. So that gives a scope for security issues. So for example, what if somebody builds a component that can actually pull data from your component from a different namespace? So it's like a security issue, and we really want to prevent that. So which is why Lightning Locker. But by the time we introduced Lightning Locker, it was only for Aura that we introduced it and later ported it for LWC. So it was never really built for web standards. So what we have done is with Lightning Web Security, you can consider it as a next generation Lightning Locker, where it is now modeled based on the latest TC39 standards. So there is a standard organization that governs how web should look like. And based on their standards, we have come up with Lightning Web Security. Now, it is very much similar to Lightning Locker, but it offers additional flexibility by giving you the same level of security. So as a developer, do you need to be worried? The answer is no. The answer is no, because first thing, you need not refactor your components to work with Lightning Web Security. All of your components that are working currently with Lightning Locker will continue to work with Lightning Web Security. And second thing is, you as a developer need not reconfigure your components. Like, there is no impact whatsoever. So whether you're using Lightning Web Security or Locker, the code doesn't change. So in fact, you can keep building the same components that you are building, and this Lightning Web Security or Lightning Locker always work behind the scenes. So you only get to know that it is working whenever you run into errors. Okay, so that is how we've built Lightning Web Security, and why we built it is, I explained it. Now, what is the flexibility that you get with Lightning Web Security? So first thing is, you can use third-party libraries. So even before, you could use third-party libraries, but you were restricted. Not all the third-party libraries were compatible with Lightning Locker. So you had to go and find workarounds. So that is no longer required. Now you can share components across namespaces. So until now, the only components that you could embed inside your Lightning Web components are from the C namespace. But now you're allowed to embed components from a different namespace. And the other two things are increased developer productivity and all, which you will feel after you start using LWR. So like I mentioned, the disadvantage with Lightning Locker is that it used a kind of a legacy way to abstract your components. That is what we used is called the secure wrappers. So on top of the standard global variables like window, document, we built secure wrappers, which prevented you to access certain number of properties, which prevented your third-party libraries from accessing certain number of properties. So there were a lot of restrictions happening over there. And other than that, the secure wrapper is actually a more heavyweight implementation. So the performance of your components was not as much as expected. Now, Lightning Web Security uses a modern principle to achieve this encapsulation, which is called JavaScript sandboxing. So if you know, in the general IT industry itself, whenever you want to achieve like isolation, like encapsulation and all, generally the way to go is using virtualization techniques. So for example, if you're using, I don't know if you're familiar with Docker. So Docker is kind of like a virtual machine that runs on your systems, which can run like code. So if you're using Salesforce functions, you're using Docker to run your code locally. So the concept of a virtualization engine is that whatever is the capability of the place where it is running, it provides a virtual environment using the same resources. So in the case of JavaScript sandboxing, your browser is the host environment and Lightning Web Security is that virtualization engine. And what does a virtualization engine do is it creates multiple virtual environments. And while it does that, it can control what resources are provided to a given virtual environment. So let's say the browser has access to 10 GB of RAM. Now, Lightning Web Security can decide it can give access to the virtual environment only for 2 GB of. So all of your code running in that virtual environment has access to 2 GB of RAM instead of the 10 GB of RAM. So this is just an example, by the way. In the case of JavaScript, the access is to all of your JavaScript APIs. So for example, if you're trying to use the document global variable, now this virtualization engine will control how much can you access that document variable. So whenever you say document dot get element by ID, your virtual environment will define how many elements are returned. So that is the concept. It might be a little bit complicated, but this has been put in place to achieve security. Now, how are we creating different virtual environments is based on the number of namespaces that you have. So for example, all of your custom components are built into the C namespace, right? So all of your components run in the C virtual environment. If you're downloading a third-party component and it has a namespace associated to it, it is going to run in its own virtual environment. So with that, what we can do is we can control how many resources or what resources of one virtual environment can be accessed by another virtual environment. So that is the way we have done all this. It is just like a peek behind the curtain, but as I said, as a developer, you need not worry about all of this. It's just for your understanding on how things are happening. But you really need to understand this part. So how are we ensuring only certain features of a particular object are accessible? So instead of building that secure wrapper, what we have built is called a distortion. So what distortion does is it doesn't build a wrapper around it, but it controls what data is returned whenever you call a certain API. So for example, if you're trying to use document.local storage, ideally you should be able to get the local storage of the entire browser. But when you're running that within this virtual environment, we will return local storage virtual environment. So that enforces certain security restrictions. So you can use the same global variables, but the data you get is based on the virtual environment in which your component is running. And you as a developer don't have control on which virtual environment your component is running and all. It's just that you can use these things more securely. And sanitization is provided, which means you won't be allowed to use certain kind of inbuilt methods like inner HTML, outer HTML, and all of that. So you'll learn all about this slowly. You need not worry about it. But again, to quickly recap why web security you have to be excited about it is, again, cross namespace import of modules, securely access global objects. Performance is generally improved because of no wrappers that have been built. Now, there are certain developer tools that we are rolling out that can help you check out Lightning Web Security. So like I said, those of you who have been working on Lightning Locker, you know that on the developer website, there is this thing called as Locker API Viewer. So that tells you whether your code is supported by Locker or not. So similarly, we are going to launch which does the exact same thing. So it tells you what properties of a particular object are available. And the Lightning Web Security console is also going to tell you whether your code runs correctly in Lightning Web Security or not. So both of these are going to be launched sometime around February 14th, because that is the day on which Spring 22 goes generally available to all orgs. And when you're developing locally, we also want to provide the same level of information to you on whether the code that you are writing is compatible with Lightning Web Security or not. So for that, what we have rolled out is an NPM package, which works pretty much with ESLint. And I'm going to demo that to explain better. So here is the recipes app, which is like the place where you go to learn about Lightning Web Components. So in here, what we have done is there is this full calendar jQuery implementation. So full calendar allows you to create calendars. It's a very sophisticated way to create events and all of that. It's a calendar plugin basically. So this plugin never used to work with Lightning Web Components before because it was not Locker compatible. So some of the APIs that the full calendar library was using behind the scenes, Locker API was preventing it from being used, which is why if you notice, the Lightning full calendar library doesn't load. Now also, I have installed a third-party library.
Practice like if Salesforce providing the service cloud, so you can create a custom approach in the Sales Cloud also to get the case, but that is definitely not best practice. And Salesforce is also having the
yeah, so like I said, you can install packages from App Exchange, and each package Lightning Locker doesn't allow an edit page. And I try this component. So it doesn't load. So the reason is it tells me that the C cross namespace attempting to reference a cross namespace module, which is prevented by Lightning Locker. So these are some of the defects that you might run into whenever you're trying to work with Lightning Locker. So what you can do is you can enable Lightning Web Security. For that, go to session settings. You can actually enable it from here. So one important thing to note is that while this Lightning Web Security is going to be generally available from Spring, on orgs that on. Now you might be wondering, is Lightning Web Security applicable to all components? It's actually no. Lightning Web Security is only applicable to Lightning Web Components. So if you have Aura components in your project, they will still use Lightning Locker. And for some time in the future, both Lightning Locker and Lightning Web Security will coexist beside each other. So Your Aura components will continue to use Lightning Locker. And once you enable Lightning Web Security, only Lightning Web components will be using Lightning Web Security. Now, which is why we are going to auto enable it only for orgs that only use Lightning Web components. So if you have your org in which you are using both LWC and Aura, this feature is available, but it is not auto activated. So you'll have to go and check this box in order to use it. Now, our recommendation is first, as always, when trying out a new feature, use it in a sandbox. And only if you think all your components are working correctly, which they should ideally, then only enable it in production. So that's it. I just enable Lightning Web Security. And once I go here and I refresh my page, I should see everything working as usual. But now you'll see that the full calendar library has loaded successfully. This is because LWS provides lesser restrictions on what you can use. So not just that, now if I go ahead and component, which is that this component also now works as expected. The message is displayed using the Lightning message utility, the hello and all of that, which I have written here. It works perfectly. So that is the flexibility that LWS is giving to you. Now, I mentioned for local development, we have built an ESLint plugin. So you can install that and add it as an extension. So the steps for all of this is documented. So don't worry too much about this. Now, what it does is when you're trying to use something that LWS prevents, so for example, document.exit full screen. So it's going to show this red underline. It says, this is prohibited in Lightning Locker. So you will get this error during your coding itself. So you don't even need to deploy your code in order to understand that with Locker or Lightning. So these are some minor enhancements that we have done in terms of security. Now, talking about the next thing that has gone GA is styling hooks. So one common complaint that we keep hearing is that all of these base components that we have built, they cannot be styled as per your need. So for that purpose, we have launched what we call styling hooks, which allow you to customize base components. So for example, if we go back, and if you look at this page, all of these are the standard Lightning card based components. And this also is a standard Lightning card based component, but notice we have styled it completely. Same is now yellow. Same is the case with links. Even the toggle buttons, we have changed the color from the standard blue to green and red. So all of this is possible by using styling hooks. And the concept of styling hook is very simple. So if you look at it, nothing changes in the HTML code. So it's the same base components that you're using. The only change is in the CSS file. So there is a web standard called as CSS custom properties, which allow you to define like variables in your CSS code. So this is like a custom variable that we created called primary color, and we have assigned it to a certain value. Now you can use this particular variable across all of your different styles. So for example, here I'm using the secondary color variable by using the var keyword. So this allows primarily usage of CSS variables. Now the benefit of using CSS variables is that if you define it in the parent component, you can use it in the child component also. So for example, in the case of the styling hooks component, this is like the code of the parent component, and C view source is a child component that we have embedded. Now, if I look at view source.css, I can see that I'm using custom properties that I have defined on the parent. So which means values from the parent can go into the child if you define it as a CSS custom property. Now, this is the concept behind styling hooks. So if you notice, all of your base components are also technically child components to your component. So what we have done is, instead of hard coding values, we have created CSS custom variables and we have exposed them to you, which means in order to style the lightning input child component, you'll have to use a specific variable. And what is the variable that you have to use is documented. So if you go to the SLDS website and let's say, I don't know, card. So once you look at the card component, scroll all the way to the bottom, and then you have styling hooks overview. So here it shows you all the CSS custom property names that you can use to customize that particular property of the base component. So here we have used all of those, the card text color, radius, color, background color, every single thing that you can imagine has a corresponding custom property, which we have used to customize the look and feel of base components for it to appear this way. So that's pretty much what I wanted to cover. I know it was a very quick demo, but since this is the inaugural meetup and I just wanted to give you a glimpse, I try to do that. So if you want to dive further into all of these concepts, check out the documentation on developer.salesforce.com. And you can follow us on YouTube on the channel Salesforce Developers. We roll out a lot of content. There is no particular cadence, so keep checking, hit that subscribe button, you'll automatically get notified. We do deep dives and we also do code live sessions, which means we take a topic and we start building it from scratch. So it's not like a pre-built demo. You actually get to see what errors we run into, what are the typos we do and all of that. And we also roll out short videos called quick takes to help you learn about a particular topic in 10 minutes or less. So there is a lot of content on the official Salesforce Developers YouTube channel. So definitely go and check that out. So with that, I will wrap up my topic. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask me now, or I can wait till the end.
Okay, so thank you so much, Aditya, for this information about the Spring 22 LWC component and all the latest updates. Okay, so yeah, so I will take the next speaker as a Om Prakash. So over to you, Om Prakash.
Hey, thank you, Rohit. Hi, Rohit, and hi, everyone. So congratulations for this new group. And yeah, looking forward for many sessions in future. So let me share my screen. So before that, I want to understand a little bit about our audience, because I don't have any specific topic. I have to talk something about our community engagement and some Q&A. So how many of you are very freshers here? I mean, just going to start your Salesforce career. Can you please text in the chat? Anyone who is totally new, or maybe first time joining this session or community meetups, please text so we can know. Okay, one, I am new, good. Anyone else who is new? I am new. Okay, nice, welcome. Okay, that's fine. I can see 3 response, 4 response. Very good, very good. Very many people are new here. That's fine. So, you know, like this meetup, you know, already part of Trailblazer community groups, and you can explore many meetups happening around, and you can join as for your interested topic. As an example, today we have learned already something what's new in LWC from Aditya. Previously, we heard about the community engagement, how to prepare for interview, how to learn lots of useful info, right? So let's continue those. I am sharing my screen now. Okay. So someone who is new here, I am Om Prakash. I am a Salesforce MVP and I am a Salesforce architect working as a Gyansys currently. And you can connect with me on the various social media. Like simply you can visit my Trailblazer profile. Then I have listed my social media here. So let's connect there. Okay. So we discussed like you are learning on Trailhead. Either you are beginner or expert. We all learn on Trailhead. to enhance our skills. And the cool thing while learning, you stuck somewhere, or maybe while working on your project, you have some questions, you were stuck, you need some quick help. So our community is around. Just navigate to the community, then go to the feed. And once you will open the feed, you have option to ask questions. And great news is that like many trailblazers are around. You can see the answer leaderboard. They are the top answer leaders who is engaging with you on your questions. So you can ask questions, not only answer leaders, but many trailblazers are around who is going to explore your question. They are going to help you. And if you have already some knowledge, you are also learning Salesforce, you started learning, so you have knowledge, right? Even you have completed one module, means you have knowledge of that particular module. You can come here and you can also explore the unanswered questions. And if you feel, okay, I know, and maybe I can spend my 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and sometimes I can answer to these questions, then go ahead, reply your answer here. So this is one of the, I can say, most engaging way to learn from each other. I can explore some questions who had not resolved it. Means someone asked the questions and multiple people are giving the answer, but that question is still in the progress. So you can look, you can check previous questions, and if you have something to add, please go ahead and add your answer. So here I have discussed you are answering or you are asking the questions, but one more silent thing is here, you are going to multiply your skills. For example, I am going to read this question, I'm going to fix this problem. I have something, I can say real-time experience, because this question seems something over in the real time. This Trailblazer is working and he had some question. Same thing if you are a student or if you are beginner, and if you are asking some questions and your colleague or maybe someone else is going to answer, they're also learning from that question and answers. Same way, like many beginners came to us and they asked, hey, I don't have much real-time practice. So today we discussed in the previous session how you can engage with the real-time project. With that, again, you can come back here, question with best answer, and you will see someone asked the questions and someone given the answer, and now you are going to enhance your skills. Oh, if this problem is coming, then this is solution, and this is something we need in real life now, like in our professional experience. This is what all matters. Oh, this was some violation rule was written, some mistake was there, then someone fixed that. Okay, so you are going to learn, you are going to share, and you are also going to becoming a multiplier from this community feed. In the community itself, we have groups. Just now I'm sharing these groups, screenshot something there. So we already discussed, like go ahead, explore your groups as per your interested topic. You can also join like today's group, search the group name here. That group is also here. You can join and you can collaborate with the other group members there. Either you are new or expert, like mentorship, one of the, I can say, trusted relationship in this world where we are going to help each other. So if you are beginner and if you are looking, okay, some mentors, this is for you. You can open this URL from the Trailhead itself. You can apply to be a mentee. Like if you are new or even expert, everyone needs some mentors, no matter on which level you are in your career. So if you are looking for become a mentee, or also you are looking for become mentor, like you have at least 1 year, I hope, yeah, you can check, I hope 1 year minimum experience, and if you're willing to help someone else, you can apply to become a mentor, and there is automatic match can mute, let me try. Once again, let me search the option for mute all. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, so I was talking for mentorship, like you can apply to become a mentor and you can apply to be a mentee, both from the same, and match will happen automatically, means it will according to your choice. Like, okay, I have suppose I am going to mention there, I am looking for mentor with this expertise, So that match will happen accordingly. So this is for you, like for all of us. And these are not new, these are all existing things, but we also have some new participants here. So I wanted to highlight this. Many of many trailblazers ask how to win swags. So I say we all say yeah, there is quests, right? Not only for winning swags, it's for learning. You are going to learn something, and in the motivation, you are also going to win some prize. So please go ahead, check the quests on the trailhead.salesforce.com. There is always some monthly quests, like you can say, if you are a beginner, you are going to start your journey, then we have beginner quest. If you are learning already, we have some ranger quest, like if you are going to become ranger, then you are going to enter in this quest, and it is like you can win. We have many people, they are sharing their achievement on the social media, like, hey, I win this swags. But always remember, swags is not a primary thing here. Your learning is primary thing. Same thing in the meetups you are joining. So in many meetups, we have swags. But again, don't go to join a meetup, hey, I have to earn swags. I'm saying here that because many people come to, hey, oh, I am looking for swags, when I can join. I say, no, this is not motivation. If you're going to learn something, that's why we always say, visit the Trailblazer community groups.com, explore which topic you are looking for, right? You can see all upcoming meetups here, like all meetings nearby you. By the way, nowadays virtual, so you can join many meetups. You can see, oh, this topic sounds good to me, then go ahead, join this, right? You can search your topics from the search options. You can explore your nearest group, virtual groups. But by the way, I can see almost groups all are nearest group. Today example, we all are from on places, but joining this group virtually. So my message is to join the meetups for your interested topics. First priority should be topic. Then again, we join some meetups to like connect with each other, because we are joining some meetup and connect phone and give bike. Okay, so yeah, this talk was in discussion of swag, but yes, there are some way you can win swags, and such swags are some secondary motivation. Okay. I also want to talk something about certification preparation, because again, we got lots of message from people who are preparing for certifications. I am going to share you a few things here. Like, first thing, for many certifications, you can see some webinars are happening, free sessions are happening. You can check out the page, like when upcoming certification days will come here. So you explore based on the exams, like, okay, you are preparing for admin exam, you're looking for marketing exam, then these expert sessions are organized by Salesforce team. Salesforce Related Academy team is going to give you this session. And great thing is that, like, I can say, like, if you are ready to go to exam, must attend this session. It will help you understand, okay, how much ready I am. Even you are starting planning for exam, you can join this. Overall goal is they are going to talk lots of things about exam, exam topic, exam context. They're also going to share you some sample practice, like, okay, this question, then how to fix that. They're going to walk you through overall exam guide in the 4 or 5 hours. So now you will have understanding key, okay, on which topic I have to focus more. Always follow the official guide. Like any exam you are going to give, go to the certification sections. Once you will open the certification details, like suppose I am here on the certifications, then admin page, then there is official exam guide. Look on the exam guide, and I will suggest before any exam, please check that. Sometimes, especially happened with me last year, I was preparing for integration exam, integration designer. I have very good confidence. I apply, I give an exam, I failed. I come back and I was checking the guide. I feel, oh, my mistake was I have not checked the latest exam guide. Lots of pattern, lots of things were changed, updated already. So session is always check the exam guide, because exam guide is always going to update from Salesforce end, and this is best practice, because in this way we have always some latest content in the exams. For the admin exam, I want to highlight something here. For the admin exam, this is already given by Salesforce. You can attempt this free test. 30 questions are there, and based on that questions answers, you can think, okay, how much ready I am for this exam. Okay, I am again and again mentioning you how much ready I am for exam, because sad thing also happening around, like people are going to, maybe someone is going to demotivate you. Hey, follow this standard set of questions, will pass the exam, follow this, will pass the exam. No, always go with the exam topics. Then make sure you have knowledge of all those skills. That's why you can prove you. Then you can prove you, I know this topic. I remember one screen earlier, hey, don't judge someone based on their number of certifications. Number of certifications is very important. Yeah, it's highlighting your skills, but not going the race. Yes, just I have to count the numbers. You are earning skills, then you are going to validating your skills. Keeping the same in mind, for the many exams, you will see this one trail mix study for the admin exam. Once it will open, you can see in each module there is some questions. For example, let me click randomly and submit. This is incorrect. Why incorrect? They're explaining you. Okay, let me choose other. Submit. Correct. But I just given randomly, but you read the question, choose the answer, then seek your how was your understanding. Okay, so this will also help you evaluate your skills for this particular topic. Okay, I am here in the admin exam, but you will find this flashcard and these questions, practice questions, and multiple sections for multiple exams as well. So this is some practice question for this topic, study up for the configuration and setup, and here is the flashcard. I'm going to read this, visualize the answer, click here. Now it's see how is your thought process, right? Overall, it's empowering you to learn, think, and as we say, apply in real time. So this is some best way. If you feel here, okay, my almost question was wrong, then you know now in which topic your answer was wrong. Explore that again, learn that again, because sometimes it's okay. Maybe I learned data security years ago, and from last years, maybe I'm not working for data security stuff. But just very basic example. So good to go and earn that badge again. I will learn from that badge again. So this is my thought, something for you if someone is new, or maybe if you are experienced, the same thing applies for everyone. I was talking for the quest earlier. So here, Spring 21 quest is live already. As you today, we learned something from LWC side. The same way you can learn from every aspect, like from the admin side, from the developer side, and some motivation edge. If you are going to complete by the 31st March, then we are going to win some vouchers and some swags, some also community badge. So again, here goal is to learn and understand what's new in the Spring 21. I hope many of you have already completed these trails. If you are learning, then please feel free to share with hashtag learn more. So your followers, your connection, other people also get motivation from you. Okay, I have to learn something. Very important thing, as we are doing this meetup today, organizers organize this meetup. They are playing a role of multiplier because somehow they are connecting with many people. So I will strongly recommend everyone, please check this resources, trailhead.salesforce.com/BAM, be a multiplier. And why be a multiplier? Yeah, if you're teaching someone at least one people, they're also going to teach someone else, right? So there are very amazing resources given from Salesforce. So what you need to do, for example, you are going to host equality workshop at your place. Some content and some guidelines are given in this trail mix. You are going to host Trailhead in a box, like or currently work from home edition are also here. Means virtually you are going to host, virtually you are going to teach 10 people, 5 people, what is Salesforce, what is Trailhead, how someone can start Salesforce career. Go ahead, open this resource. You will see there is ready-made PPT are also there. Okay, some contents are there. All guidelines are given to you how you can host your workshop. Maybe you are from college and your friends are interested for the learning Salesforce. Download this kit, open this kit. You have some slide there. For example, here you can see kit. Let me open. Yeah, getting started with Trailhead PowerPoint presentation. So you have already ready-made slide. You don't need to spend lots of time for building something from scratch. Same thing from multiple. See more, and you will see lots of resources are here. Lightning overview for your users. Career guidelines, like career red lines. Sometimes you have many people who is looking for a job and they need some guidelines. You can host this workshop. And always remember, you don't need any specific title. You don't need anything to lead these things. You can start right away. If you have some known people, invite them on the virtual meeting here. Come join me, village, and you can always give the sessions. So be a multiplier. And thank you, Rohit, for having me today, like in this your be a multiplier session organized by our community. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, I will love helping and discussing those. So any question, please put in the chat. So yeah, this is some quick chat, as this is first meetup. So just some quick info and fast track for you. I hope it might be help someone. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Rohit, once again for having me.
Yeah, so
Any
thank you
please
so
put
much,
in the chat.
Om Prakash sir, for giving your time. And now our next speaker is Neha. So Neha, over to you.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and congratulations, Rohit, once again for starting this user group and inviting all of us here today to share our thoughts and hear these amazing speakers out. So let me try share my screen, and then we can get started. Just let me know once you can see the screen, guys.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Thank you. So to start with, my name is Neha and I'm Director of Solutions Stack Nexus, working in Salesforce practice area. I've been in industry for more than 10 years now. I have worked on multiple technology. That's why I call myself technology enthusiast. Or rather, I would say I've worked in multiple technologies because I'm a technology enthusiast. Started my career with Java. Then I have looked into .NET as well. I have looked into many low-code platform, Mendix, and then finally I found my love in Salesforce. Been with Salesforce for more than 6 years now, and continuing my journey from developer to architect in this area. So that's about me. If you want to reach out to me, this is my LinkedIn ID and Twitter. You could reach out to me there for any questions after this session as well at any point of time. Technical regarding Salesforce, building career in Salesforce, anything, please feel free to reach out. So today I'm going to quickly talk to you guys about Salesforce career paths. Salesforce, as we've been hearing, all of these amazing speakers, we heard about being an architect. We saw, Aditya diving into a lot of technical stuff for developers, and of course, as for the architects also, it wasn't really excellent information to know about those new features. Jyotsna did talk about, to how can you start your career, what are the different admin you can be, or that there are different things. And Om sir also showed you, what you can do. There are different quests that you can do as a developer, as an admin and stuff like that. So you have already heard the terms for the ones that are new in the career or new to the Salesforce platform, that when you are in Salesforce, there is no limitation. You have to understand your forte. You'd have to understand what your key skills are, what you're good at it, what you're good at, what you want to do, in your career, what do you want to achieve. And then Salesforce has one path for each one of us. So quickly, these are the major areas that I'm going to be talking about. There are going to be two more things or two more areas for the career paths that I'd have a quick glance at. I won't take long. It's going to be a 5 to 10 minutes quick discussion here. But admin, developer, consultant, architect, we have all heard about these four paths, especially during this session, we have discussed them. Cloud specialist is another area that I'm going to quickly look at. And again, one of the very popular career path these days, which is UI UX designers. That's also, very, very popular these days, very demanding. Other than that, two areas that I will have a quick look at is the business analyst and Salesforce QA. So this is what we'll be looking at. And I'm gonna let me know which screen you guys see. Is it still my PPT?
Yes, I can see your PPT.
Okay. Trying to share another screen from Salesforce, but it looks like I have a problem. But any which ways, I'll just walk you through these parts real quick. So basically, if you're interested in learning Salesforce, you'd need to think choosing the right career path for you. Now, with so many potential avenues that we looked at, from Salesforce admin to developer to BA to architect, picking a role that basically suits your skill set, your needs, and of course, what you want to do in future, your desire for the future growth is absolutely critical for you to start out into the ecosystem. Jyotsna did share how you can start in the ecosystem. Of course, Om sir talked about, how can you be part of this ecosystem and where you can start your learning from. But again, understanding where to start from is absolutely crucial for you. I've always said that if you want to be a great Salesforce, if you want to be great at Salesforce, you'd have to earn your admin certifications. If whether you want to be a developer, whether you want to be into consulting, whether you want to be into eventually you want to become an architect, it's important to understand the basics of the platform, and admin is a very, very good place to start with. So that's, I would say, is going to be for the people who are trying to get into the ecosystem. Start from there. Learn your admin creds, learn your admin certification content first, and then eventually you can define your path after understanding the platform well. Now, what does Salesforce admin skill set look like? I would say, from my experience, great Salesforce administrator possess a blend of, the tech knowledge, tech specialist knowledge, and also some sort of business expertise. They have to have a good blend of, technical minded, creative people who are solution oriented. What does Salesforce admin do in their, day-to-day task? So they are basically responsible for, understanding the requirements and then transforming them into a solution which can be achieved through the configurations. They are basically, the work is mostly around the configuration, reporting, process automation using point and click. That's what a usual day, a day-to-day activity looks like in a Salesforce administrator's life. As far as your career path progression as a Salesforce admin concerned, as I've already shared with you, you can train into other roles. When you are a Salesforce admin and you spend a good time learning that path, your next step could be developer, an architect, your business analyst. You could go to marketing cloud specialist. You can become a Salesforce QA, whatnot. So you could continue upskill yourself in your fields and become your also become senior Salesforce administrator if you still want to continue with what you're doing. You could become a specialist trainer. That's another path which is very, very popular. I have seen a lot of people, getting a lot of success in this area. Become a specialist trainer and support other technical professionals to, succeed as a Salesforce admin. That's another area that you could explore as your career progress. The next career path that I'll discuss with you is developer. Now, Salesforce developers, that generally people say that the developers doesn't need to understand the admins. But to me, especially when I become an architect, I've realized that a developer must be a good admin too. That's my experience. That's from where I have come, and my transition from admin to developer to architect has taught me. Why? Because a developer should be a good blend of what to configure, and when what to code and how to code, what to automate, and whether to use the point and click Salesforce platform offers, which is wide range. There's a lot that you can do, and what eventually you'll have to, jump to coding, which for the things that you cannot achieve using the points and click. So with the focus on building the coded solution, now the skill set required to be Salesforce developer is definitely a bit more technical as compared to the admin. That of course I would admit. So you'll need a good range of experience in technology to succeed here in this area. Now, generally the best Salesforce developers, the traits that I look into them, I have found in them, is they love problem solving. They are able to present multiple solutions to fix a problem, and they generally have a background of IT. And again, I do not want to say that the people only belongs to IT background can become developers. Absolutely, if you have passion for coding, then consider yourself that you belong to IT, whether or not you have done your BTech in IT or not. So that's one thing. I am not a BTech IT. So that's that would be good to know for the people who'd want to pursue their careers as developers and haven't done BTech IT or been into that. Of course, you can be good developers if you have passion for coding. So now, as far as the progression of the Salesforce developers opportunity as a career is, now this career path itself has a wealth of opportunities. You could, from here, you could take the consultant path. You could take the architect path. If you want to work very closely with business, after you develop, you start understanding the platform better. You want to transition into BA. Absolutely okay. That I have seen people transitioning from developer to BA if they have found later that they are more interested, or they also have an inclination towards business processes and how they should be mapped with the technical stuff and with the platform. So that's another thing. Also, it will be people who are interested in being a developer. It will be good to know that the perks associated with the developer and the demand right now, the sales developer, is immensely high, and that's why. Again, I've studied some market trends. I've looked at the website and the post that Salesforce has posted. The market trend is absolutely great, and the salaries offered are a bit higher, on the higher side as compared to the other traditional language developers. So that's something really interesting to know. The third well-known and very interesting career path is that of a consultant. Now, a lot of people reach out to us, and then and in the community, this question has been asked multiple times, that we are not interested in coding, but we like the platform. Salesforce has a great palette of features to offer, and we want to be part of this ecosystem. Now, what are the opportunities for them? I would say consultant is your path. Having said that, we'll have to understand that in industry, and I'll specifically talk about India, that being a consultant at the entry level is a bit difficult. It's a transition that you would see in your journey slowly. You might join as an admin, and then you kind of learn the platform better. You learn multiple or one or two clouds and understand the ecosystem better, and then this transition slowly happens towards the consultant path. Now, what a consultant for me? So consultant, I would say, the beating heart of any great Salesforce project. They play an absolutely vital role in liaising with the technical staff. They help manage the projects, and absolutely ensure that their business gets the most out of the Salesforce platform. They're the expert planners who would help companies to understand, what part of the Salesforce, which features of the Salesforce, which cloud is going to suffice their requirements and would meet their requirements. Essentially, they are the people who'd be working very, very closely with the clients and with the technical team at the same time. So an interesting job profile to get into. You are well versed with the platform, a lot about the platform without actually coding or doing the configuration. So great career option for those who doesn't want to pursue coding or doesn't want to pursue automation, hands-on automation. So this is one path that you guys can opt for. So great consultant, again, they are comfortable with high level client facing stakeholder management. As I've said, they'd be primarily responsible for suggesting what to use, which tools to use, which cloud to use, also which licenses to buy. That also sometimes alongside the architects comes into their bucket. Now, progression from here, where would you grow or go from being a Salesforce consultant? So as a Salesforce consultant, you'd have a variety of career options open to you, from training into the other roles within the ecosystem, admin, architects, and of course, consultant to architect is absolutely possible. And in community, you're going to be hearing very soon a specific I would say content prepared for the people who want to transition from consultant to architect role. I will not be able to speak much about it, but this is being worked upon and has been announced in Delhi group already, that this is some content that is being prepared and will be shared with you guys very, very soon. So again, people who are excited about the Salesforce products, people who are excited about the Salesforce in the industry, this is the path for you. Now, next transition that we generally see from here, and the most buzzword, high in demand and requires a lot of hard work and effort, a lot of experience to reach to, is the architect role. Certifications is one thing, but work experience, transitioning from admin to developer to architect, and of course the other parts that I've said, it's possible to be an architect from admin to, of course, architect is also possible. We have seen people doing that. From consultant also this transition is possible, but it absolutely needs a lot of time and effort and a lot of preparation, of course. I'm on that journey, and I follow a lot of other people who are on the same journey, and it is, of course, is interesting, but of course is one of the most it takes a lot from you, and at the end of the day you get a lot from this. That's what I would say about the architects. Architects are primarily responsible for the designing the solution for as Meera said. Meera has already shared a good palette with us what exactly an architect is supposed to do. Architect for me is a problem solver. Architect to me is someone who understands the problem. Before solving it, you'll have to understand what the problem is. If you have a mindset of understanding the problem and you have a mindset of solutioning, giving solutions, how, rather than, it cannot, to how it can be done and how many different ways it can be done. And out of those, what is the best way to do it? And let's do it and deliver it is what an architect is all about. As I said, they're big picture thinker. They are in-depth problem solver. One of the most asked question as a technical architect in the different sessions that I do is, do I need to know in order to win? I wouldn't say that you need to code on a day-to-day basis in order to become an architect, but it is important to understand different programming languages, different web application and databases in order to become an architect. That's, you have to understand the integrations, you have to understand the business design, application design, all of it. And also, as Meera rightly said, the you'd have to have a big understanding of the whole system, and that's why it's an amalgamation and it's a journey, as we have all been saying. Having said that, there's a high demand of this role right now, and if you're a developer, if you're a consultant, if you're an admin, please think of kind of upgrading yourself, upskilling yourself to the next role, which could be this one of those roles. I wouldn't dwell into this much because Meera has already shared a lot about this role. Now, other two roles that I quickly wanted to discuss, excuse me, sorry, about with you all, and these are gaining a lot of popularity these days, are the cloud experts. Now, this terminology you might not have heard a lot. This is something that I came up with while I was trying to come up with this content. But cloud experts, I would say, are the ones who knows a particular cloud that Salesforce has to offer, and they understand that platform in and out. Marketing cloud is one of the areas which is again in high demand. If you want to pursue your career, marketing cloud is absolutely, again, in demand is the right word to say. And you'd find a lot of content available out there to become a marketing cloud, start your career with marketing cloud. Jyotsna is here. If you need more information with respect to that, yes, you can reach out to her. Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, they've always been there. They're the hearts of the entire ecosystem. Those are the two that you could, learn. And then Commerce Cloud, then you have finance, and then there are other areas, there's Pardot, there's of course, MuleSoft is not one of the clouds, but again, MuleSoft is another area which generally does not come in a traditional path of a Salesforce journey. But MuleSoft is, I would say, is one of the areas that, people who are interested in integrations, who likes to have a bigger picture, work with, likes the way the different systems work with each other and want to explore that area. MuleSoft is another career path that you guys can explore. And one more path that you see here, it's highly in demand, and there's a shortage in the industry. I could sense I need a lot of Salesforce QA on a day-to-day basis in my organization, and we find it very difficult to find one. Specifically, we find QA, quality analyst, you have a lot in the market, but the people who are well versed, the people who understand the Salesforce environment, they understand the clouds, those kind of QAs, there's a crunch in the market. And this is the right time to get into that area. If you feel that quality analysis, testing is something that you enjoy doing, again, if you have a very analytical mind, and if you relate to the end user and their problems, then of course this is the area that you should absolutely explore. One of those areas which does not require you to code, just to understand your platform and have an analytical mind, will take you to heights in this particular area. So these are the few paths that we have discussed. There are quite more. I'm going to paste a link in the chat. There's a Trailhead link where you can find all these paths, what you need to do in order to get into each of these areas. And then, of course, those pages links you further to the trailheads. What skills you need, what trailheads you need to complete, what certifications do you need in order to, take these paths on as your career. So I'm going to do that really quick. And this is it from my side today. All the best to those who want to join Salesforce, and also to those who wants to progress their career and get more skilled and get into these different paths. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Neha, for this opportunity and also implementation process knowledge. And again, welcome to you. And our next, let me check. Yeah, so we have another speaker, Aditya, but some health issues, so he's not available here. So please all keep safe and stay home. And also we have, if you have any query question regarding this session, all the attendees, so you can ask her and him in our speaker. So I have one question from Deepak. So it's this is for Neha. So hello Neha ma'am, I like being a part of business process automation, so re-engineering project, and I want to end to end, but I don't have any experience of coding and programming. Over Trailhead, I have achieved 23 badges, and till now we with 10275 points by myself along with my existing job. Which role do you suggest me if I need to start from Salesforce admin or from scratch? So this is the question to Neha ma'am. So over to you, Neha. Can you hear me, Neha and all?
Sorry, I think I was on mute.
Yes.
My bad. Okay, I'll take that again. So to answer your question, there's absolutely no problem in not being interested into coding and not being, interested in doing the automation, hands-on automation. Still, as I said, there's a lot of you could start as a Salesforce admin. That's one area, and why I always suggest is it gives you a good understanding of what you can do with just point and click, what Salesforce has to offer. People says that Salesforce, when I joined Salesforce specifically, and like not now, but even a couple of years back, people would say Salesforce is a CRM. To understand that it's not just a CRM, it's an ecosystem in itself, and it has a lot more to offer. Admin is going to give you a good start. It's going to tell you what this platform can do, what all you can achieve by just point and click. Now from there, if you still feel that this is not for you, you don't want to do the flows, you don't want to do the process automation, and you want to explore the other areas, you could definitely start learning the different clouds that are there. Sales, service, again, as I said, the heart, you could start from there. You could start learning the marketing cloud. That's another area that you could look into. But eventually, even if you're doing marketing, even if you're doing these different clouds, at some point of time, you will be introduced with the point and click and the features. So that's for me, I would say start with admin, try to have a basic understanding of the platform, and then explore, look at what other clouds are available, and what you feel is right domain for you, go and get started with that.
Okay, so yeah, thank you. And another question for all the speakers, like I have 10 years of experience in telecom, fintech, and healthcare or health tech experience. So I want to career transformation. So give me give a good suggestion and good answer for this question. All the speakers all the speakers.
So hey, I think very important questions, and it's also a common question like career transformation. So great thing is that already we have a journey to Salesforce program. So I am sharing you link here in the chat. So what I will suggest you, the first thing, please go ahead, register yourself for the journey to Salesforce program. And journey to Salesforce program is especially built for the professional like you who is working in different technology and looking for a start Salesforce career. So once you will register here, you will receive the dedicated learning path. You can check out. Let me share my screen also. I am on the same page. So, or let's continue. I think I don't have option to share. So once you will register there, then your journey is started. You will receive dedicated learning module. You will receive mentors assignment from our community. Like mentors is going to help you with the queries, and you also have opportunity to connect with the employers where you can interact for the interview process. And there are some success story on this page. So I will suggest start from this. And as Neha mentioned recently, you have to explore the capability, functionality, features of the platform, what Salesforce can do for the business. And you know already it's world #1 CRM. So once you will explore, once you learn the admin concept, you know the power of our platform, then you can explore your career path there as discussed in this session. But as of now, in the short, I will say journey to Salesforce is the best for you. And any questions, we are always around.
Okay, so we
Perfect.
got
Thanks,
all
Deepak.
yeah. So we got all the questions and answer, and now it's time to wrap up our session. And thank you so much all the speaker for giving this time for me and this group, as well all the attendees. So again, thank you so much for all speakers and attendees for giving your time, and please keep safe and stay home. So thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a
Bye-bye.
good day.
Thanks all.